Good morning, Ayo. It's nice to be here, and I hope we all had a wonderful Easter break. I did actually. I had a wonderful Easter break. I hope we all did. Okay, so continuing on holistic health talks, today we're going to discuss briefly on another system in the body. Now, this we're talking about our respiratory system. Yes, I'm going to talk about the respiratory system today. Now, that is one system that, the truth is that there's no most important system amongst all of the organs God has given us because they all need each other. The respiratory system is more or less like you don't have air, you don't have life. So it's very, very important, working together with the circulatory system, in fact, with everything. So now we'll talk about the respiratory system. That's group or network of organs that come together to help, structures also that come together to help us take in air. Some people will say take in oxygen, but the truth is that the air we breathe in has other things in it, has other things in it, like tiny particles, a whole lot of some nitrogen, some of course carbon, especially in this environment that we have found ourselves. So I would not say taking oxygen, I'll say taking air and expel carbon dioxide and every other thing that the lungs does not need. So that's what the respiratory system helps us with, and it also helps us with our smelling, sense of smell, and speaking. Also, without the respiratory system, we would not be able to speak, we would not be able to smell stuff. And these are organs like, of course, starting with the nose, and then also the trachea, that's the windpipe. We go to the bronchi or the bronchioles, depending on whether singular or plural. That's our airways. And also, of course, we go to the lungs, then the diaphragm, and the voice box. That's our larynx, the throat, and of course, our mouth. These are all part of the respiratory system. And of course, the vessels. Without the vessels, air cannot be transported, or oxygen from the air we take in cannot be transported to our brain. So we also need our vessels amongst our respiratory system. Now, how does stress affect this system? Like I have said, when we get stressed up, our adrenal gland naturally secretes the stress hormones. So depending on what kind of stress, whether it's adrenaline, whether it's cortisol, any stress hormone at all secretes it. And for the respiratory system, what does this do? A lot of time when this happens, it has a way of constricting the respiratory system, and by constricting it, it reduces how much air we take in. And that's why you notice that when you're under stress or you're confused, when you're under any form of stress, whether a lot of time with traumatic stress, you find yourself that you're breathing fast. You have rapid breathing. You sometimes, some people actually have a chest pain almost immediately. And then you just have to sit down because you cannot stand up straight. Of course, the shortness of breath. That is because immediately that stressor came in, and your body receives it as stress. The body secretes the adrenal gland, cortisol, and then immediately the vessels are constricted. So it has reduced the quantity and quality of oxygen that is supposed to go through your vessels, and that's why sometimes you have fainting feelings because your brain is not receiving enough oxygen. Now, you would not want this kind of tightness to continue or to linger. So that's why we always advise that we should always just make sure that whatever you do, watch your stress level. Now, some people actually already have respiratory issues like asthma, like bronchitis, like some people have pneumonia. Well, in fact, for the Catholic, condolence greeting to everybody losing the Pope yesterday. He's been having chronic pneumonia for a very long time. Now, this is one of the issues also. Pneumonia is also an offshoot of a respiratory system Now that's an infection of the respiratory system that was not well taken care of. And all of these things are preventable. So if you don't want to get yourself into chronic issues, I think it's just better to either stay away from it, or even if you're born with it, try to have coping mechanism. Now in natural medicine, we have a lot of herbs. We have a lot of herbs, and of course we have lifestyles that we always advise our clients. For example, I used to be very, very asthmatic. As a matter of fact, my mom said I was born with it. I took it after my great-grandmother, who was asthmatic. But to be honest, as I'm talking with you now, I haven't had an asthmatic attack in over 10 years. I had a bout sometime like 2 or 3 years ago when I got very angry with somebody. Now that's a trigger for me. So I had, of course, a bout of the asthmatic attack. But in over 10 years, I haven't had an asthmatic attack. And this was me. Back then, I remember when I was working in the bank, quite a number of times I have been rushed from the office to the hospital because of my breathing. So I tell you that it is reversible. Yes, it's reversible. And also, when we go to preventive measures, now that is how stress can affect you. When you go to preventive, because with stress, it can elevate the risk of developing or even worsening. Now the risk of developing, meaning you don't even have any respiratory system issue at all, but stress can actually put you at risk of developing one if you always put yourself in the position for that to happen. Now, how do you do it? Things that you're supposed to prevent yourself from, and now that takes you to preventive. If you do not have any respiratory system, and I'll advise to prevent. Now, how do you do it? One, watch your weight. A lot of people, I have somebody who came to me and was like, he doesn't understand why he is now diagnosed with asthma, and he has never had asthma in his life. And this is I think he's in his 40s. So the first thing I told him was, number one, sir, you're overweight. You know what obesity does? It's, that's too much fat that your body should be able to hold. Already you have, the fat has deposited probably in the lungs area and is constricting. Or probably, the vessels that are taking oxygen to your brain have also been affected. So that's why you have onset. They call it adult onset of asthma. So he was so devastated, like he understands how bad this thing was. As a matter of fact, he's a friend, so I think he has experienced my own issue some time ago. So he was like, he didn't want to believe it, but when the doctor told him, like, he was like, I know somebody who has this in before. So that's why he reached out to me, and I told him, number one, please watch your weight. And number two, watch your anger level. Watch your anger level, because when we get angry, that is also a stressor. Sorry, that is also a feedback of stress. Whatever it is that made you angry is a stressor. So anger can actually bring about. So I told him about that also, and that's another one. Watch your, anger level, your emotions. Try to ensure that you're always in control. Then also, his lifestyle was not good. He drinks a lot, he smokes a lot, and I told him, guy, smoking is a no-no. Smoking already constricts your vessels. It's just like you're putting smoke inside a pipe. What are you doing to the pipe? You're constricting it from the inside. So the water that is supposed to go through the pipe is going to be restricted. That's exactly what you're doing to yourself. So, he was like, now wow. I said, yes, now wow. So that's another thing. Please reduce alcohol, of course, and stop smoking. And also, for those who actually have respiratory issues already, try to avoid triggers. Like even now that I haven't had it in over 10 years, I try to avoid triggers like bleaching of oil. We like ofada a lot in this part of the world. So ofada stew, we bleach the palm oil to make it very, very light. That is a trigger for me. and some other people. And also, of course, like pollens. Some people react to pollens. Some people react to a whole lot of things. For different people, different triggers. So watch your triggers and prevent it. And also try to ensure that you're always in a ventilated environment, because if you're in an environment where you are not receiving enough air, that can be a trigger and can bring up an attack. And also fragrances, try to stay away from very strong fragrances, whether it's your deodorant, your spray, or your perfume. Try to make it light. Of course, you smell good, but make it light so that you're not just enjoying the aroma or for the other person, but you're also living a good life, nothing detrimental to your health. And also, I would always advise breathing exercise. You know me now, I'm a yoga instructor. Breathing exercise is wonderful. Now, what does that do? It helps to expand the lung muscles. It helps to expand your diaphragm, helps you to take in enough air. I would even always advise it maybe where there's enough water or nature, because you're getting natural oxygen from this. And also remember to drink water. Why am I asking you to drink water? You see, the lungs area, the reason why an asthmatic patient has an attack is because the place has been constricted, and then you have mucus blocking that air passage. And now, what is the major thing in mucus? It's water. So that means you're probably dehydrated. So if you're well hydrated, it helps to dissolve the mucus that can actually come and block the airways of the lungs. And also, please try to muscle building and stretches, yoga stretches. I'll always advise it. If you notice, most yoga stretches, there's always the chest part. You're expanding your chest, you're expanding the spine, you're ensuring that it's well aligned. And of course, don't forget to sleep. Sleep is very, very important on different levels. All right, so for respiratory system, we'll hang it there. Until I see you again on Thursday, do not forget my contact. That is 0916-038-1840. My contact again is 0916-038-1840. My social media handles, YouTube and LinkedIn, are Feyishayo Sharomi. That's Feyishayo Sharomi. The Shayo has an H. Facebook is Feyishayo Sharomi. The Shayo does not have an H. Instagram is Smooth Ants. That's SMOOTANDS. Smooth Ants. And TikTok is Smooth Wellness. I love you all, and please, let's just ensure that we live a balanced life. Just live a balanced life. Life is beautiful. Sometimes it seems that there has to always be a problem, but I can assure you, if you live a balanced life, you don't take too much on yourself. You try to balance everything. You can live a sickness-free life. Stay blessed. We'll meet again on Thursday. I love you all. Bye.
Thank you so much for joining us this morning, Dr. Feyishayo Sharomi. All right, you're still tuned, of course, to Rainbow 94.